Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking TEA-GIF because the saga continues, you guys. There is more fallout, there is more drama, and we got to get to the latest. So I first saw this on YouTuber's Mims page. Shout out to him. So essentially, Armon WIGGINS allegedly has come out the bushes, you guys, to reveal some things, but kind of was talking in code, but we can kind of piece together what he was saying, right? So an audio plays of Arman basically saying that there was one of his quote-unquote co-workers that was alleging that Arman was sleeping with one of the producers and that the producer was taking Arman out on dates and that they had this inappropriate relationship and that the co-worker apparently allegedly set up a meeting to complain about Arman to the higher-ups and that this was inappropriate and all these things. And Arman apparently found out through a third party what was being said about him behind his back, text messages and all of these things, whatever the gossip was. And he thought the person that was trying to have these meetings and all these things behind his back and saying that this is a toxic work environment and that this is inappropriate was an ally of his, was a friend of his, was a colleague of his. And so my question is, what are you trying to imply, right? Are you trying to allege that Al Reynolds, allegedly, is the person behind all of this? Are you trying to allege that he is the mastermind? Are you trying to allege that this producer is the alleged reason things fell out because of whatever alleged relationship or alleged interpretation of your relationship with this producer was, interpreted and thought of, and so therefore it was a threat and it was alleged to complain to the higher ups about it to try to get you fired, but instead everyone else is fired? Instead the whole team is fired? Are you trying to allege that your other co-host is the one that showed you the messages? Because it was a lot of talking in code in the audio, and apparently some people have been aware of this rumor but haven't really been saying anything until Arman spoke for himself, essentially. But even with Arman saying something, it still has more questions than answers. Because I know the question's going to be, well, if you have receipts to show that alleged coworker was being messy behind your back, alleged coworker was having secret meetings with the higher ups at Fox to try to get you guys fired, or to get you in particular fired, and it ends up backfiring on everyone, why not post the receipts? But here's what I think is happening, because there have been some people who've been eerily quiet since the announcement of this show being no more, of this show officially being canceled on their day off, you guys. Is, again, there had been rumors of at least another co-host of Armon suing and looking at legal options. So I am wondering if Armon is waiting to see if somebody else is going to try to take legal action first, if somebody else is going to try to jump the gun first and try to, say, hey, Armon, you were in breach of contract. You tried to discuss, my ex and all the things, and there's, NDAs. You're not supposed to do that. Or they're going to try to beat you to the punch first with, some type of HR lawsuit of sorts or some defamation lawsuit of sorts, or, citing toxic work environments, alleging inappropriate relationships with certain people that can hinder the success of people working together. And I'm wondering if you are waiting to see if that happens or not, so then you can respond with the receipts that you have that can, say, hey, so-and-so is being messy this entire time behind my back. There's no factual information to support this alleged relationship, and, you know, a mutual party showed me these messages, showed me these screenshots, and it's completely fabricated, it's completely fake news, but you were so convinced it was happening, you decided to take it upon yourself and go to the higher-ups and complain. Because it's like, it was interesting because Arman and Claudia, they were, you know, saying that they were going to tell it all, they were going to reveal all these things, and then things kind of got quiet. And then we didn't hear anything for a little while until this has come up, until Arman has spoken, right? But even with what Arman has said, there is still things that are left open for interpretation. There is still questions people have. There is still answers people are wanting to have in regards to this to fully, you know, figure out what the situation is. And what is the relationship of this producer as it pertains to all three hosts of the show, all three people affiliated with this show? That's the real question. Was there any preferential treatment among anybody that was a part of this show that hindered the workplace? And if somebody has proof of that, if somebody has proof that some people were doing some nefarious things behind the scenes, that people were trying to prop up certain people, then they might have a case. But the other side of this is, look what happens, you guys, when especially black people, right, are going after these big networks, such as your Nene Leakes, such as your Mariah Hawk with Bravo, NBC Universal. Here's the thing. Even if you have a legitimate case, the repercussions of this is the potential of you getting blackballed if you still want to be in media moving forward. So that's the other piece of this, which is why I think we are in this holding period, because we're going to wait to see whether or not anybody is going to drop the gauntlet first. Who is going to drop the gauntlet first so then everyone else can respond? And I think that's what the ambiguousness of Armon Wiggins and what he was saying and what he was implying was intentional. So that if need be, if somebody tries to strike first, if somebody tries to sue first, then Armon can countersue and provide those receipts. However, if nobody ends up suing, or if they're trying to wait out an NDA, if they're trying to wait out a non-compete agreement or what have you, then I understand why some people are still being a little bit ambiguous, although Claudia Jordan made it seem like she can let have and spill all the tea now if she wants to. So it's very interesting that now potentially we have, you know, a potential third party, a potential, you know, other gentleman, a potential love triangle, if you will, allegedly, that could have been the straw that broke the camel's back. And it didn't help with the birthday roast and Lunel's appearance being the same week at the height of all this behind-the-scenes drama, in which, in part of Arman's rant itself, Arman confirmed that there was people behind the scenes trying to get him fired. So it was already brewing for quite some time, and Arman barely had been there 3 months. Better, you know, has barely been there through the probation period, you guys, of a new job. But now this takes on a whole nother, you know, spectrum. If this is all about a secret affair, if this is all about an alleged secret hookup or an alleged jealousy of whatever relationship of sorts, whether it's just professional or personal, that somebody felt threatened by enough to report and try to get somebody fired, but in doing that, they decided to just burn everything down and get everyone involved fired, get the whole team fired. I just don't understand dropping the easiest $250,000 bag, you guys, via Zoom, via max 8 hours a week, 4 days a week. You have the rest of your time
to do whatever. And I'm saying max 8 hours because I am taking into account the hour or so you may have a prep of what you're going to discuss before your hour show. But outside of that, you pretty much have free time. That's why Claudia, you see she's always doing other movies and other reality shows and other gigs and other hosting stuff, because why not? You have the easiest $250,000 bag, allegedly, to talk celebrity news and gossip, reality TV news and gossip, current events on your platform via Zoom in the comfort of your own home. You could literally be in your pajamas if you want to. And then you can go on about your day and do whatever. But here is the problem, you guys, when you try to, get your friends and even sometimes family on board with you in business or in opportunities that make money. Like I said in a previous video, the issue is once you start to gain so much traction on social media, once you start to gain so much popularity and you start to fill yourself and you start to look at the comments to see who's getting more favorable comments than whom, who's getting more love than whom, and who is getting dragged the most, or whose opinion out of the three do the people least care about. And is that person going to be sensitive and try to sabotage other people? Or is that person going to grin and bear it and utilize this opportunity to parlay it into other opportunities and keep the show going, regardless of the beef of whatever, regardless of whatever friendship's fallen out? But unfortunately, this day and age, people don't look at the bigger picture anymore. But there was never a time previously when you're talking about the workforce in general, there wasn't this time where everybody was working together with their friends. Everybody starts off as strangers. But in this space and opportunities where, again, there can be some nepotism, unless you're at a family-owned company where you know for a fact that, hey, this is the legacy of the family, everybody's going to have some type of position here, and eventually, you guys are going to take over. With the exception of those type of opportunities, for the most part, everybody is on even playing field, as long as you are contributing and doing the work on your jobs. But now all of a sudden people think, oh, since I'm good friends with you, maybe we should work together. Maybe we can all work together and have a key. But the problem is, in the entertainment business, not everyone really is your friend. Because unfortunately, people get jealous of you. Unfortunately, people, if they feel that you are on the cusp of trying to surpass them, or even on the same level as them, people find that intimidating and want to try to knock you down a peg or two. And exhaust all options. Try to drag you on your own show. Try to set up all of these things and put out all of these rumors. Try to work with the ops. Have Tasha K revealing all these things that we didn't ask to know about. But because of all the drama with Fox Soul, starting with, Funky Night Diva leaving, it put a microscope on the show and how much longer it had. But it just really sucks that people couldn't put their differences aside for the sake of the show to show this platform, hey, we can still work together, we can still put together a good show, we can still make fetch happen, so it wouldn't be all this tomfoolery. But this rumored situation, it has a whole nother meaning, it has a whole nother layer to this. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. This is going to be interesting to see if anybody responds, if anybody replies anything. And the biggest thing is going to be if there's going to be any legal action as it pertains to why the show ended for real. And what the retaliation is going to be. Because I think that's the real reason that Armon didn't explicitly name names. Because he's waiting to see if anybody else tries to sue first, if anybody else tries to do anything first. But the other side, do these text messages, do these receipts exonerate Arman or what? And that's the piece too, because there's some people who believe the rumors. Even though we don't have technically receipts that it's true, the only thing we know that is true is that it's rumored, if this is the same producer, allegedly, that he was friends at the minimum with Arman, which helped him get the gig over other people who were in consideration. Which is why Claudia came out and said she had no impact. She recommended people, but none of those people were picked. So it wasn't her decision on who that final co-host was going to be. So all of this now is just taking now a life of its own, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here. So nonetheless, we will keep tabs on it, as you guys know, because I've been following this TGIF thing, you know, ever since they've had various scandals when Funky Dineva was on the show, as well as Funky Dineva's abrupt leaving, as well as all of the drama of trying to find a new host and everything that's happened in between, and then the hiatus, and then the drama with the birthday roast, and the drama with the comments from Lunel about Star Jones, and the impromptu, like I said, a hiatus a couple of weeks before even a major holiday is even happening. That you're just doing this abrupt hiatus and pretending that it was in the works, only for your show to get canceled. Make it make sense. So there is that. Please let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.